On today's show, the Cleveland Cavaliers take a 2-0 series lead over the Miami Heat. Instant reactions straight ahead on this edition of Locked On Cavs.
You are Locked On Cavs, your daily Cleveland Cavaliers podcast.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? My name's Danny Cunningham. You might know me from my time covering the Cleveland Cavaliers, places like my Substack, The Inside Shot, Cleveland Magazine, 92.3 The Fan, and a number of other stops along the way. I want to say thank you to you for making Locked On Cavs your first listen today and every day. You can find the show anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, anywhere else. Drop us a 5-star rating. Leave us a nice review. Be a friend. Tell a friend about Locked On Cavs. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure a friend is subscribed as well. And if you're watching the show on YouTube, do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the latest Locked On Cavs content, a proud part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. The Cavs beat the Miami Heat in Game 2, 121-112. I am still here at Rocket Arena, so if you hear some stuff in the background, they're breaking down the court, taking down some seating, so that's all that is. I apologize. On the full edition of Locked On Cavs that will come your way on Thursday, today's Wednesday, on Thursday, it will sound normal. I will be in my studio. Everything will be back to normal, but instant reaction, bonus episode, a little bit shorter. Just kind of want to dive straight into it. So the Cavs won this game by 9, and it should have been by more. They didn't execute well in the fourth quarter until Donovan Mitchell did superstar things, as Donovan Mitchell is prone to do. He scored 17 of his 30 points in the fourth quarter. He made all 4 3-pointers that he took. He was spectacular in the fourth. He really, really was impressive. He was everything that the Cavs needed, and after the game, he was talking about, that moment and what he had to do and kind of sensing the moment. That has been a theme from Kenny Atkinson for most of the years, that Donovan has just had such a strong sense of the moment, whether it's needing to score, whether it's needing to be more of a creator for others, whether it's needing to go get rebounds and play defense. Like, he's kind of always known this year, I think more so than other years, he's kind of known exactly what his team needs and when they need it. And I think that Wednesday night was just another example of that, where he was awesome because the Cavs offense was not great in the fourth quarter. I think when he checked in, they had only scored 8 points in the first few minutes of the quarter. It wasn't great. The offense was very stagnant. They weren't getting good shots. They were turning the ball over a little bit too much. They had a few turnovers in the fourth quarter, despite having an otherwise pretty clean game. But they weren't playing the offense that got them a 19-point lead. And that is something that's going to happen in the postseason. But I do think that the playoffs are about a few things. One of them is it becomes a little bit less of a basketball game and a little bit more of a chess match, or a problem-solving equation, if you will. And it becomes how you handle adversity. And the Cavs really didn't have – they had a little bit of game pressure, I think, in Game 1 on Sunday. They certainly had much more tonight. And I think that moving forward, that's a really good thing for them, right? Like, they do need to handle adversity. This series is not going to be where the postseason ends for them. They're going to ultimately find a way to win 2 more games against Miami, whether that's games 3 and 4, 4 and 5, whatever. They're going to advance out of this series, and things are going to get tougher. And I do think, as I've been saying all week, the Cavs are going to get better from playing the Miami Heat. And I think Wednesday night is an example of that, because now, and I understand that this group, for the most part, has been through this together because they had a postseason run last year that went to the second round. They had a 7-game series against Orlando last year. But I do think that having a little bit of adversity early on can be a really good thing for them. And, of course, having Donovan Mitchell be able to lift them out of that adversity the way that he did, where he can be a superhero, because that's what he does in these moments. We've seen these moments from him in the postseason, both in a Cavs uniform and in a Utah Jazz uniform, before the Cavs acquired him via trade. So that it was just another reminder of what he's capable of. I thought Evan Mobley was pretty good tonight too. He didn't take a ton of shots. I still would like to see that number be a little bit higher. He finished tonight with 10 field goal attempts, made 7 of them. 6 of his 10 shots were from beyond the 3-point arc. I don't know if I love that distribution, because I think that the 6 threes is fine. I think that's actually kind of about where you want Evan. I think you want him at 5-6. But I think he needs to be taking more than 10 shots overall. Like, I thought he was more aggressive, and I don't know that how much of the flow of the series is going to be, hey, Evan, go get yours. Like, go be the man offensively. I don't know if this is the series for that. There will be a series in the future that could be like that. I don't know if this is that one. but I do think that he needs to be getting more than 10 shots. Like, he had the same number of field goal attempts as DeAndre Hunter, and I thought Hunter played much better on Wednesday night than he did Sunday night. But I think Evan needs to be between like 16 and 18 shots a game. And I understand that in postseason, the game slows down a little bit. The pace is certainly slower. You know, we saw several games towards the end of the regular season where the Cavs would have 95 to 100 field goal attempts. They had 82 on Wednesday night. So we are seeing that pace certainly come down quite a bit. And I think that is affecting Evan just a little bit. But overall, I thought that he had a pretty solid game. I thought Darius Garland was good, not great. Obviously, he didn't shoot the ball all that well from beyond the arc. He was 2 of 8 from 3. He was 6 of 14 in total, did have 9 assists, only 1 turnover. The turnover stuff is, I think, really important. I think it is critical to the Cavs maintaining success when they go to Miami, because the Heat have done a really good job, and I'm going to talk about this coming up in a second here. The Heat have done a really good job of forcing opponents into turnovers since the trade deadline, since they added Davion Mitchell and they pushed him into the starting lineup on Wednesday night, which was the first real adjustment that we saw in this series, which I think was probably much needed from Miami's standpoint, and something that was predictable and that the Cavs were ready for. But I also think that, you know, that is something they're going to need to maintain that level of focus when they go to Miami for game 3 this weekend. But overall, I thought good things from Darius. I thought good things from DeAndre Hunter. Max Strus, I thought, was really good in this game. He hit 4 threes. And the second quarter from the Cavs was absolutely electric. Like, that's obviously the best quarter of basketball they've played so far in this series. And there have only been 8 quarters. So it's not as if there's a bunch of stuff to compare it to. But I think that was better than a lot of what we saw down the stretch from the Cavs, where the ball movement was back. And one of the other things, too, that's just worth touching upon, because the Cavs from March 3rd on were 21st in three-point shooting percentage, after being the best team in three-point shooting percentage in the NBA before that. So they were not a great team in the final 6 weeks of the season, 7 weeks of the season from beyond the arc. But I do think a lot of that was just connected to maybe not feeling as fresh as they would have liked, because we saw the way, you know, they weren't awesome beyond the arc in game 1. I thought they were awesome beyond the arc in game 2, but this is what the Cavs look like when they're fresh. And I just think that is a thing that's worth remembering. They got up 45 threes. They made 22 of them. 11 of those threes came in the second quarter. It's the most threes the Cavs have hit in any quarter in playoff franchise history. So that was the difference in this game. Now, the Cavs have figured out who to attack. I'm going to go more in depth on this specific thing in the full Locked On Cavs that'll hit your feeds first thing Monday morning. So maybe you've listened to that before you listen to this, so you already know what I'm about to say. But I want to dive into that next right here on Locked On Cavs. Today's show is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe, or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25. That is my personal favorite. Big fan of that game. To Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. This is awesome. Like, it can be, if you're a gamer, and I know that there are a lot of gamers, and I am one of them. As I mentioned, I play EA Sports College Football 25 basically every day. It can be difficult to travel with your console. And personally, as somebody who's about to hit the road heading to Miami on Friday, I can't take my console. Like, I just don't have room. But this makes it easy. This makes it simple. And there's so much that you can do with it. And it really is something that everybody, if you're a gamer, this is the way to go. So head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max first and second generation, and Fire TV Cube third generation. Today's show is also brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. I was in this building. The atmosphere was fantastic. There was snow falling from the sky at one point in this game. And you could have been there if you would have gone with Game Time, because Game Time is the top ticket marketplace to get you in the door to all your favorite events, not just basketball, not just where I'm standing right now, but concerts, comedy shows, whatever you want to get your foot in the door at. Game Time can help you get there. You can be part of it without all the stress of the last minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets or tickets to whatever you want, even when demand is sky high, because prices on the app actually go down as tip-off grows closer, and their last minute deals can save you up to 60%. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNBA, that is LOCKEDONNBA, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank you again for making Locked On Cavs your first listen today and every day. You can find the show anywhere you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube as well. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, 5 stars, Apple, Spotify, just all that good stuff. Help out the show. That's the best way that you can. So the Cavs have, I don't want to say like this is some breaking news thing. It's important because it was said aloud. It's kind of like saying, when there's a secret that everybody knows, but you're kind of scared to say it out loud, right? The Cavs know who they want to attack on Miami when the Cavs have the basketball. And those two players are Duncan Robinson and Tyler Herro. And Duncan Robinson, maybe we aren't going to need to talk about a ton, just because like in this game, he played 12 minutes, was a minus 17 in the game. The Cavs, he could not defend the Cavs. Miami plays primarily zone defense when Duncan's on the floor because he's not a good defender. The Cavs generated a ton of threes. Like, he was on the floor at the start of that second quarter, and the Cavs hit a three-pointer on 4 straight possessions. And the possession before that, DeAndre Hunter got to the line, made a couple of free throws. Like, that was the start of that Cavalanche. They were able to find rhythm because Miami wanted to play that zone with Duncan on the floor. And the Cavs have, I think the shooting that Cleveland has is too much for Miami to play that zone as consistently as they probably need to play it to survive in this series. Tyler Herro is the other one. And Darius Garland, after this game, was asked by Spencer Davey, Cavaliers on SI, who, of course, friend of the show, was asked about the turnover stuff, because Miami's done a great job of creating turnovers since the trade deadline, since this group has been assembled. And Spencer asked him, what's the key to playing a clean game against Miami? And Darius said, attack Tyler Herro. Said him by name, said attack Tyler Herro. And like, it's no secret that the Cavs want to go at Herro. It's what they've been doing during this series so far. They've been pulling him into just about every single action that they have. They're bringing him up, they're forcing him to switch, and then they're putting him into a pick and roll so that he's having to work really, really hard on that end of the floor while also carrying Miami's offense. And listen, I thought offensively in this game, I thought Tyler was spectacular. It felt like all of the good looks that he was able to get, he made. He had 33 points. He made 4 threes. I thought he was great. I really, really did. But the Cavs are going to keep attacking him. And I think that's going to be something that makes life really, really difficult for Miami, for Tyler Herro. And that's going to be something to watch when this series does shift down to Miami this weekend. I mentioned that Donovan Mitchell was put into the starting lineup for Miami. He was really good for the Heat in this one. He had 18 points, 7 of 9 shooting, 6 assists, played 36 minutes. I would be stunned if he's not in the starting lineup moving forward. I think that he does a lot for them. And most importantly, the Cavs have done a really good job of applying pressure on the basketball. But when he's out there with Tyler Herro, it's a little bit more difficult because of how quick Donovan Mitchell is. And it's just somebody else that can handle the basketball for Miami. When he's not on the floor, they don't necessarily have that. So those are my initial reactions. Again, Cavs up 2-0 over the Miami Heat, a 121-112 win on Wednesday night. The series now shifts to Miami for Game 3, which is set for Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I will be in South Beach for that game. And, of course, Game 4 on Monday night. Stay tuned. A full Locked On Cavs podcast up on your podcast platforms at 5 a.m., YouTube at 7:15. So keep it locked in right here at Locked On Cavs for all that stuff. Again, thank you for making this your first listen today and every day. You can find the show anywhere you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, anywhere else. Drop us a 5-star rating. Leave us a nice review. Be a friend. Tell a friend about Locked On Cavs. And if you're watching on YouTube, as we get out of here, hit that thumbs up button for me. Click subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And I'll be back with more Cavs in just a little bit.